The departure. The year was 2173. Earth was no longer home, it was a cage. The skies were gray with ash. Oceans had swallowed cities. Nations had fallen, and what remained was held together by machines and fear. People looked up at the stars not with wonder, but with hope and desperation. But one ship, the Eos, was ready to leave. Inside Launch Station 9, the final checks were complete. The colony ship stood like a steel giant, its long silver hull glowing softly in the artificial light. It carried 800 passengers, scientists, engineers, doctors, builders, and dreamers, all chosen carefully, all willing to leave everything behind. They were headed for Nysa 3, a planet 11 light-years away, Earth-like atmosphere, running water, forests, mountains, but most important of all, a chance to begin again. Commander Raylan Voss, leader of the mission, stood on the observation deck. He looked at the planet through the dome, Earth, his home, his past. His burden, he whispered, "Let this be the last time I see you burning." Beside him stood Dr. Mara Chen, lead biologist. She carried a small plant in a sealed pod, the last known blue sunflower on Earth. She would replant it on Nysa 3, or die trying. Below them, the crew moved with quiet urgency. Cryosleep pods were checked, engines were preheated, navigation systems pointed at the stars. Everyone knew the risk. One way, no turning back. As boarding began, families gave silent goodbyes. No words could explain what it meant to leave a world forever. A little girl no older than 10 asked her mother, "Will the sky be blue there?" Her mother smiled. "Maybe brighter than we ever saw." Inside the ship, passengers took their places. Cryo chambers sealed with soft hissing sounds. Lights dimmed. The AI voice spoke gently. "Cryo sleep initiation in 3, 2, 1. Silence. The Eos lifted from the surface without flames, without sound. It rose like a dream, disappearing, into the gray clouds. From the ground, only a few watched. Most had given up on space years ago. But now something had changed. 17 years passed in real time. To the crew, it felt like a blink. The AI reactivated with a soft chime. "Approaching target system, Nysa 3. Begin wake-up sequence." Lights flickered. Chambers opened. One by one, the colonists awoke, dazed, cold, breathing hard. Muscles trembled as blood returned. Commander Voss stood first. "All systems. Report." The screen showed a perfect blue-green planet. White clouds, massive land masses, 3 moons, calm weather. Dr. Chen stared, tears in her eyes. "It's real," she whispered. "It's alive." But something was strange. The scans showed no signs of intelligent life. But there was movement. Not machines, not animals. Something else. The AI added one line. "Planet surface contains organic structures not recorded in human databases. Unknown classification." Voss frowned. "Explain." The AI hesitated. "Unknown material is arranged in patterns. Geometric, possibly artificial, or evolved. Still, landing was approved. The Eos entered Nysa 3's atmosphere. Clouds parted to reveal green valleys, glowing lakes and forests with trees that sparkled like glass. Birds flew overhead, but their wings bent light in ways the human eye didn't fully understand. The ship landed in a flat basin surrounded by low hills. A moment of stillness passed. Then the doors opened. The first humans to walk on an alien world stepped into the light. Gravity was slightly lighter than Earth's. Air was cool, breathable. Everything smelled clean. Dr. Chen knelt down and touched the grass. It moved. Not away, not violently, but gently, like it recognized her hand. She pulled back. Voss ordered the first scan team forward. Drones flew overhead. Builders began unfolding solar shelters and water extractors. 3 hours later, the colony hub was halfway built. Food processors were active. Tents were up. Life had begun. Then came the first message from the scout drones. Unusual stone formation found north of base. Shape, circular. Depth unknown. Voss gathered his team. We move at first light. We're not here to hide. We're here to understand. That night, the colonists gathered around the first fire. They didn't talk much. They just looked at the stars. A new sky. A new world. But not everyone felt peace. Deep in the forest, something moved. No eyes. No sound. Just motion. Slow and watching as the camera drone blinked red and went silent. Its last image showed something rising from the ground. Tall. Still. Shadowed in the trees. And behind it, the same symbol that was on the hull of EOS before launch. No one had noticed it then. But Nysa 3 had first light on Nysa. The first morning on Nysa 3 was unlike anything the colonists had seen before. The sky wasn't just blue. It shimmered. As if the atmosphere bent light in a slow, gentle wave. 3 moons hung above the horizon, glowing pale silver. The air was cool and fresh, but heavy with a scent that no one could identify. It smelled like memory. Commander Raylan Voss stood outside the half-assembled colony hub, watching steam rise from the soil. It was still early, but he felt it. Something was watching them. Behind him, the base came to life. Engineers powered up solar units. Drones buzzed overhead. Farming modules unpacked. The air was calm. But every person who woke from cryosleep that morning carried the same strange feeling. The feeling that they were not alone. Dr. Mara Chen walked the perimeter, scanning the soil with a small device. Her data showed high nitrogen levels, perfect for agriculture. But beneath the first layer of dirt was something hard, smooth. She tapped her comm. "Commander, I need a dig team at grid section 3C. There's something under the ground here. It's shaped." At the northern edge of the valley, a team of 3 scouts, Harlan, Ochoa, and Jun, moved toward the strange rock formation discovered by the drones the night before. They were trained for this. Calm. Focused. But even they couldn't explain what they found. It wasn't just a rock. It was a perfect black ring, 20 meters wide, sunk halfway into the earth and cold as ice. The surface was covered in etched symbols. Not random scratches. Lines. Shapes. Repeated patterns. One looked disturbingly familiar. Harlan stepped closer, squinting. "That's the same mark from the ship's hull," he said quietly. "What do you mean?" Ochoa asked. "The one we thought was just corrosion. This symbol was already on EOS before we launched. They didn't touch it. Not yet." Back at base, Voss reviewed the images from the drone. He frowned. That symbol wasn't on any of the original ship designs. Dr. Chen leaned over. "It means one of 2 things. Either someone put it there before we left Earth," she paused, "or something here knew we were coming." As the day went on, things got stranger. A supply crate, sealed and stored, was found 30 meters away from its original spot. No drag marks, no damage, just moved. 2 drones malfunctioned at the same time. Both fell from the sky, landing gently, not crashing. Their memory banks wiped. One colonist, Private Nolan, reported hearing whispers near the forest line, but there was no one there. "It said my name," he whispered. "I swear it said my name." At nightfall, the colonists gathered again, but this time no one sat close to the trees. The forests glowed faintly, silver and violet pulses that ran up the trunks and disappeared into the canopy. Chen ran tests on the glow. It wasn't bioluminescence, it was energy, electrical pulses, measured, rhythmic, like a heartbeat. Later that night, a scream echoed from the eastern storage dome. Voss and 2 security officers rushed in, weapons drawn. Inside, Engineer Ellis was on the ground, alive but shaking. His eyes were wide open. In his hand was something glowing. A stone, dark glass, pulsing blue with faint lines that shifted across the surface. "I didn't pick it up," Ellis said. "It was in my hand. I don't know how." Dr. Chen took the stone for study. Its surface reacted to touch, showing moving shapes and faint voices when scanned with light, voices that sounded almost human. The AI system on EOS suddenly gave a warning. Unregistered signal detected in communication relay. Source unknown. Encryption format. Human adjacent. The colonists froze. "Replay the message," Voss ordered. The audio came through, distorted, broken, and barely understandable, but the voice was clear. "We came here first. We never left. The world remembers." The message cut. Silence. Dr. Chen looked at Voss. "This planet has memory. It holds echoes. It's more than alive. It's intelligent." Voss stared at the trees glowing in the distance. "And it's talking to us." He looked up at the night sky, at Earth's direction, though it was far beyond sight now. The mission was to build a future. But what if this planet wants to rewrite the past? Far beyond the tree line, deep in the forest, something massive stirred. It rose slowly, made no sound, and looked toward the human colony with glowing eyes. No pupils, no anger, just awareness. As it moved, the ground beneath it whispered, one word in the old sleeping language of the stars: welcome. Building the first home. The next morning came fast. Nysa 3's sunlight felt warmer than Earth's, but the warmth was strange, like it was watching. Commander Voss gave the order to begin permanent construction. "We start building today," he said. "No more waiting. We're not guests here. We're settlers." Shelters went up fast. The colony's main dome, Haven 1, was the center. Around it, 6 modular pods would house labs, medical bays, farming zones, and engineering quarters. Everything was designed to last, everything, except the ground. Engineer Mira Kale ran diagnostics. The land around the construction site was stable at first. But by mid-morning she noticed something strange. Measurements were changing. Soil that had tested hard became soft. Bedrock was shifting under their feet. "The planet is moving beneath us," she said to Voss. "It's reacting." "To what?" he asked. "To us." As the colony walls went up, the AI drones showed odd readings. Power lines were behaving strangely, light flickering in gentle pulses like the power wasn't just flowing but breathing. Voss called in Dr. Chen, who had been studying the black stone taken from Ellis the night before. She held up the sample. It had grown slightly. No one had touched it. "It's absorbing heat," she said, "and sound. It responds to emotion, too. When we speak near it, it glows. It's a message," she added. "Or a memory. Something is learning us." Out in the forest, the scout team placed signal buoys to map safe zones. They marked trees, recorded animal tracks, and measured radiation levels. But something didn't match. The forest was changing shape, not over weeks or months, but hours. Team led by John Moreno followed their own footprints back from a 3-hour hike, only to find they had been erased. Trees were now closer. A river that was straight in the morning now curved around the base perimeter. One scout left a drone to hover. When they checked it 2 hours later, the drone was embedded inside a tree. No damage. Just inside. As if the forest had grown around. Back at the colony, children played near a newly cleared field. One girl, Lena, wandered too far and found a patch of ground glowing soft gold. When she touched it, the light rose and formed a shape, like a giant flower made of air. She laughed and ran back. But when others returned, there was nothing there. Only one strange thing remained. A handprint in the dirt, perfectly shaped, but 3 fingers longer than human. That night, the colonists gathered inside Haven 1. It was meant to be a celebration. First, crops planted, first meals prepared. Music played, laughter echoed. But many eyes kept glancing at the windows. The forest glowed softly in the dark, silver pulses rising and falling like a giant sleeping organism. Suddenly, all power blinked out. The lights, the comms, the AI assistant, Silence. Then came the hum, low like wind through a tunnel. And then the voice. Not a word, not a scream, but a feeling, like a memory whispered inside every person's head. They all heard the same thing, though no sound was made. You are shaping me. Power came back after 10 seconds, but everything had changed. Dr. Chen gathered the council in private. The planet is watching. More than that, it's copying us. Buildings, speech, even thought. It doesn't want to stop us. It wants to understand who we are, and maybe become part of us. You mean it's helping? Asked Mira. No, Chen said. It's adapting. Fast. Too fast. The next morning, a new tree grew at the edge of the camp. It hadn't been there yesterday. It was tall, wide, bark like steel, leaves like black glass. At the base, carved into the wood, was a phrase written in perfect English. You are here. Now I will be too. The colonists stared. Some stepped back, but one child walked forward and placed her hand on the bark. The tree didn't react, but deep underground, far below the colony, something ancient opened, a chamber filled with lights, shapes spinning in. The air, echoing with whispers from a time before Earth had formed. A voice spoke, slow and deep, in a language older than any known galaxy. The architects have returned. In orbit, the ship EOS, now unmanned, detected a new signal rising from Nysa 3's surface. Coordinates, a location, and a warning. The world is awake, and it remembers. The mirror forest, the sun rose over Nysa 3 for the 4th time since humanity landed, but today it felt different. The air was still clean. The sky was still bright. The planet looked peaceful, but everyone in the colony felt something heavy, something just beyond the trees. Commander Raylan Voss stood at the edge of the settlement, staring into the forest. For 3 days, the trees had been getting closer, not moving, not growing, just appearing closer each morning, as if the forest wanted to listen better. Voss turned to his scout leader, June Moreno. Today we enter, he said. I want to know what's in there. The team was hand-picked. Dr. Mara Chen, the biologist who believed the planet was learning. Engineer Mira Kale, whose machines had begun malfunctioning near the forest. Private Ellis, the man who first touched the glowing black stone. Jun Moreno, calm and sharp-eyed, always first in and last out, and Commander Voss. 5 entered. What? They found inside. No one could have prepared for. The moment they crossed the tree line, the world changed. The trees were not like Earth's. Their trunks shimmered like polished metal. Their leaves were deep violet and shifted shape in the wind. The light bent strangely. Sound grew muffled. Each step echoed longer than it should have. And after just 5 minutes, the path behind them disappeared. Moreno dropped a marker beacon. It blinked once. Then it was gone. Not broken, not stolen, just erased. As they moved deeper, strange things began to happen. The trees changed color depending on who was near them. Near Dr. Chen, they turned a soft gold. Near Mira, they reflected blue light like her engineering scanners. Ellis reached out to touch one, but the bark shifted and became a smooth mirror. And in that mirror, Ellis didn't see himself. He saw his father, a man who had died 10 years ago, standing, staring. Back. Ellis froze. His breathing grew sharp. It's not real, Voss said. It felt real, Ellis whispered. Chen's scanner beeped wildly. These trees are storing emotions, memory patterns. They're reading us and showing us what we don't say out loud. Voss gave a tight nod. We move fast. No more. Touching. They reached a clearing. In the center stood a single massive tree unlike the rest. Its trunk was silver black. Its roots glowed red beneath the soil. Hanging from its branches were thousands of shapes, like pods, but transparent. Inside, the pods were faces, human faces. Some of them looked like the colonists. Others looked like people who had never left Earth. Dr. Chen gasped. This is a memory archive. This is how the planet stores knowledge, by copying thought, image, even fear. Mira stepped closer. Why store us? A voice answered from behind the tree. Because you brought the code. From the shadows stepped a tall, thin being. Its body shimmered like the forest, half metal, half light. No eyes, no mouth. But it spoke. Not with sound, but into their minds. You are the second wave, the first failed. You come with fire and memory. We wait for those who can finish what was begun. Voss raised his weapon. Who are you? I am the last fragment of the ones before. Before what? Chen asked. Before silence. Before the end. The being gestured toward the silver tree. This is the memory of your kind, planted long before your son was born. You are the children of architects, and Nysa is the last key. The team stood frozen. We didn't build this world, Voss said. Not you, the being replied. But those who made you. You carry them inside, in blood, in mind, in code. Suddenly, alarm screamed on the colony comms. Kale checked her tablet. The colony was under pressure. Windstorms, failing power, lights blinking, and in the center of the camp, the black stone from Ellis's hand had split into pieces and started growing. Roots. Like a plant. Roots moving toward the forest. The being spoke once more. You cannot stop the awakening, but you must choose, merge, or resist. And what happens if we refuse? Voss asked. The forest grew quiet. Then the trees whispered in one voice, low and full of warning. Then you are not ready, and Nysa will bury you like the others. On their way back, the path changed again, but they found one marker beacon blinking softly, still active. The first signal they'd dropped. Someone, or something, had placed it there for them. They returned to base just before nightfall, but the trees were closer now, and the colonists. They felt different. Some had dreams of things that never happened. Others heard voices that spoke in languages they didn't know, but somehow understood. Dr. Chen uploaded her final log of the day. The forest doesn't want to destroy us. It wants us to evolve, to become something new, but it will not wait forever. Far above, in orbit, the ship EOS blinked with a final signal. The AI sent one message to Earth. Phase 2 initiated. Humanity has made contact with the mirror world. Status: conscious integration in progress. The storm below thunder cracked across the skies of Nysa 3, but there were no clouds, no rain, only the sound, deep and rolling, like the planet itself had taken a breath. Inside the colony, the lights flickered again. Generators surged, communication. Towers buzzed with static. Half the systems went offline without warning. Commander Raylan Voss stood in the control center staring at the alert map. Red zones spread across the base perimeter, but there was no attack. No storm, just pressure. Invisible. Growing from below. Then came the tremor. The ground shook. Just once. Not like an earthquake. More like something had moved beneath them. Heavy. Massive. Alive. Get all personnel inside, Voss ordered, but it was too late. A section of the northern settlement cracked open. The soil split like paper. A small outpost module dropped into the earth with a groan of steel. 3 colonists were trapped. Emergency drones were launched. Dig teams scrambled. But when they reached the hole, they didn't find just rock. They found a door. It was circular, black metal, covered in faint glowing lines like veins of light, completely alien and ancient. Engineer Mira Kale scanned it. It's not a natural structure. This thing was buried here, on purpose. Dr. Mara Chen joined her. It's like a vault or a lock. Voss stepped forward. Then we open it. With caution and effort, the door was slowly unsealed. No force, No code, no tool worked. Until Private Ellis, who had once held the black stone, approached it. The lines on the door responded to him, glowing brighter. He didn't touch it. He just stood close, and the door slid open. Beyond it was a tunnel, wide, smooth, lit with pale blue light from no visible source. The walls weren't metal, not stone, something in between, something warm. The rescue mission was called off. The 3 missing colonists were no longer in danger because they were already inside. A small team entered the tunnel: Voss, Chen, Cale Ellis, and Dr. Farah Idris, a geologist. As they moved deeper, the walls responded, rippled slightly as if aware. Symbols flickered along the surface. Some were familiar. Others were from Earth's oldest languages: Sumerian, Mayan, even Sanskrit. Dr. Idris whispered, "These aren't just alien symbols. They're ours. Ancient, prehistoric, carved into caves back home thousands of years ago." They reached a vast chamber. Inside floated dozens of crystal panels like windows showing other times, other places. One showed Earth, but old, green, untouched by machines. Another showed Mars with rivers. A third showed Nysa 3, not as it was now, but as it might be in the future, towering spires of light, cities that lived and breathed. Then, the central console lit up. A voice spoke, not with sound, but through feeling, through memory. You were seated. Not by chance, but by purpose. The team stood still, hearts racing. The voice continued. We are the architects. You are our continuation. We fell to silence, Guy, but you are the return. Suddenly, the walls shimmered, revealing the 3 missing colonists, alive, unharmed, changed. Their eyes glowed faint blue. Their skin carried faint golden lines. They weren't injured. They were enhanced. The vault scanned us, one of them said calmly. It showed us what's coming. What's coming? Voss asked. The colonist pointed upward. The storm, not wind, not fire. A force that ends civilizations. It's coming for this world, just like it did before. The chamber responded. Images of destruction flashed across the crystal panels. Alien ships falling, entire cities dissolving, black clouds of silence swallowing planets. One final image froze the room. The same black ring found near the colony. Scattered across dozens of dead worlds, Kyle stepped forward. It's a warning. This place isn't just a vault, it's a message, maybe even a weapon. Chen looked at the colonists. You've been changed. Why? One of them spoke. Because we'll need more than walls and weapons. We'll need minds that can understand what's coming. The planet rumbled again, this time from far away. The AI from orbit, EOS, sent a sudden alert to the control center. Gravitational anomaly detected, 11,000 kilometers west. Object emerging from subspace something was arriving, and it wasn't human. Back in the underground vault, the voice spoke one last time. Your kind made the first step. Now you must make the last stand, protect the memory, or lose the future. As the team returned to the surface, the night sky above Nysa 3 changed. A black shape hovered just beyond the stars. Not a ship, not a moon, something older, watching, waiting. The decision. The black shape above Nysa 3 grew larger by the hour. It didn't send a signal. It didn't respond to probes. It simply hovered, motionless, in orbit. Watching. In the colony below, tension turned into fear. Inside the command dome, Commander Raylan Voss stood before the council, his jaw tight. Holograms flickered behind him. Data from the orbital AI, the vault below, and the 3 colonists who had been changed. Dr. Mara Chen spoke softly. Whatever's up there, it's not here to greet us. It's here to see if we're ready. Ready for what? Asked an engineer. To become more, said one of the enhanced colonists, eyes glowing faintly. Or to be erased. The colony was split. One side wanted to activate the vault, let the transformation begin. Merge their minds with Nysa's growing intelligence, become something new. The other side feared it. They wanted to stay human, build weapons, fortify the colony, prepare to fight. The council had no clear answer, so Commander Voss did what he had always done. We'll do both. He gave the order to split the colony into two task forces. Unity Division, led by Dr. Chen, focused on understanding Nysa's neural systems, learning how to connect safely. Sentinel Division, led by Voss, responsible for defense, training, and preparing Earth tech weapons. The plan was simple: adapt or defend. Over the next few days, strange things began happening. The colonists aligned with Unity started dreaming the same images: floating cities, spiral-shaped ships, symbols they'd never learned, but somehow understood. They began to move alike, speak in half-phrases that completed each other's thoughts. They weren't losing their minds, they were linking them. Meanwhile, Sentinel crews found their machines breaking down near the forest edge. Guns jammed, drones stopped mid-air. But when moved away, they worked again. Voss ordered the use of isolated power cores, non-reactive, magnetic protected. It worked, for a time. But even those began to heat unnaturally, as if the planet's will was pressing back. Then came the vision. It hit every colonist at once, Unity or Sentinel. They were standing in the sky, floating above Nysa 3. Below, they saw the planet glowing, pulsing like a heartbeat. Above, the black object opened. A spiral crack formed in its center. Inside was darkness, movement, and a voice. Choose now. The vision ended. The sky above the colony dimmed. The black shape was no longer distant. It had descended. Now it hovered just above the upper atmosphere. A ship? A being? No one knew. But its presence changed everything. In a final emergency session, the Unity and Sentinel leaders came together. The enhanced colonists, those changed by the vault, sat quietly, calm, almost peaceful. You were made to survive, one said. But survival isn't enough anymore. The galaxy needs change. Commander Voss looked around. And if we change, what do we become? Dr. Chen replied, something the stars haven't seen before, something ready for what's coming. The council voted. Barely. A single vote tipped the balance. The vault would be activated. The colonists gathered around the entrance. The enhanced stepped forward first, placing their hands on the glowing symbols. Light shot through the ground. The earth shook, not in violence but in awakening. The black vault pulsed, then opened fully. Inside were hundreds of structures, half organic, half machine, waiting. Not weapons, evolution chambers. Each colonist had a choice. Step inside, and change, or stay behind. Voss stood still. Then, slowly, he walked forward. If this is the price of the future, I'll pay it. He stepped into the chamber. Light swallowed him. Above the planet, the black object began to respond. Its spiral opened wider, revealing something inside, vast, fluid, full of eyes and shifting limbs. It was not alive the way humans knew. It was a test, a gatekeeper of the architects. The colony's lights turned silver. The vault sent one final pulse into the sky, and the object paused. Then, it began to recede, back into the stars, watching, waiting, satisfied. Voss emerged from the chamber, alive, but different. His skin shimmered faintly. His voice echoed with layered tones. The dawn of interstellar humanity has begun. The new Dawn Nysa 3 no longer felt like a planet. It felt like something alive, something awake, and now, something connected to humanity. The vaults had opened. The colonists had chosen, not all, but many. Some had entered the evolution chambers and emerged changed, stronger, faster, minds sharpened by knowledge the human brain once couldn't hold. Others remained human, untouched, but loyal, brave, and still vital. Now both groups stood side by side, together, different, but one, in orbit. The black structure, the test, the watcher, began to drift away, not as a retreat, but as a signal. It had judged Earth's children, and they had passed. Inside the Unity core, now glowing with alien and human tech, Commander Raylan Voss stood on a rising platform, overlooking the valley. The colony had grown fast, too fast. Buildings now responded to thought. Solar systems floated in the air. Food grew without soil. Water cleaned itself as it ran. Children who once feared the trees now played beneath them, laughing as the forest responded with light and song. And the forest? It had stopped moving closer, because it no longer needed to. It was part of them now. Dr. Mara Chen walked beside a flowering tower that had grown from the vault's old root system. The flowers bloomed only when she passed. Her research logs were now part of the planet's memory. "We didn't conquer Nysa," she whispered. "We became part of it." Then came the signal from Earth. 17 years after departure, the second colonization ship, Horizon Gate, entered the system. They expected to find a struggling outpost, a battle for survival, a fragile human spark. Instead, they found a shining city in the jungle, a society of light, mind, and memory, a world alive in ways Earth couldn't imagine. This isn't a colony," the Horizon pilot said. "This is a civilization." The Horizon crew was welcomed not with speeches but with shared thought. The evolved colonists didn't speak with words alone. They spoke in memory, feeling, vision, a sunset, a loss, a dream, a triumph. Every message carried heart and understanding. For some of the Earthborn crew it was overwhelming. For others it was beautiful. "This is what we were always meant to become," one whispered. In a broadcast sent to Earth, Commander Voss stood before a beacon of light. His appearance had changed, taller, eyes glowing softly, voice calm and clear. But his spirit was unchanged. "We left Earth searching for survival. What we found was purpose. We are still human, but we are more now, and we welcome the next wave, not as strangers, but as family." And so began the era of the new humanity. From Nysa 3, new ships launched, organic metal, hybrids that bent space without harming it. Colonies were no longer boxes in the dirt. They were gardens, memories, living cities that grew from shared dreams. Children born on Nysa had minds tuned to the stars. They didn't ask if they would travel the galaxy. They asked where they should grow next. The architect's old ruins were slowly reactivated. Each vault opened more knowledge, gateways. To ancient technologies, stories of star civilizations long gone, and from those ruins came a warning. Others will come. Not all will be kind, but the ones who remember Nysa will protect. And protect they would. Nysa 3 became not just a colony, not just a home, but a beacon. A place where life remembered its strength, where humanity didn't rise through war, but through understanding, through evolution, through unity. The end.